All right, time for another First Chapter Friday. Today we're doing The Night Diary, and it's by Veera, and I have not figured out how to say her last name, but she is a storyteller, and these are written in letters. July 14th, 1947. Dear Mama, I know what happened today at 6 a.m. 12 years ago. How could I not? It was the day we came and you left. But I don't want to be sad today. I want to be happy and tell you everything. I'll start at the beginning. You probably already know what I'm telling you, but maybe you don't. Maybe you haven't been watching. I like turning 12 so much already. It's the biggest number I've ever been. But it's the easiest number. Easy to say, easy to count, easy to split in half. I wonder what Emil thinks about you on this day like I do. I wonder if he likes being 12. We woke up a little before 7. Emil and I usually sleep through our birth minutes, and then when we wake up, we stand next to the last mark we etched on the wall. Next to the last mark we etched on the wall with a sharp rock. No one else knows it's there. I do it for Emil, and he does it for mine. And then we compare how much we've grown since last year. Emil has finally caught up with me. Papa says someday Emil will tower over us all. It's hard to imagine. Papa gave me your gold chain with the small ruby stone hanging from it. He started giving me the jewelry when I was 7. I now have 2 gold bangles, 2 gold rings, small emerald and gold hoops, earrings with a ruby necklace. Papa said I should save the jewelry for special occasions, but lately there are none. So I wear all the jewelry at once and never take it off. I don't know where he keeps it all, but each year on my birthday, another piece appears in my bedside, in a dark blue velvet box with a gold trim. When you open it, the blue satin lining winks back at you. Papa asks for the box back after I take the jewelry. Secretly, I want the box more than the jewelry. I want it to be mine and never have to give it back. I could find any old thing, a pebble, a leaf, a pistachio shell, and put it in the box. Like magic, these things would get to be special at least for one day. Maybe he'll let me have it when your jewelry runs out. I want to tell you about the diary I'm writing in. Kazi gave it to me this morning wrapped in brown paper, tied with a piece of dried grass. He never gives me gifts on my birthday. I once read an English story where the little girl got a big pink cake and presents wrapped in shiny paper with big bows for her birthday. I thought about the little gift Kazi gives us all the time. Pieces of candy on our pillows or ripe tomato from the garden, sliced, salted, and sprinkled with chili pepper on a plate. Cake and bows must be nice, but is there anything better than a perfect tomato? The diary is covered in purple and pink silk, decorated with small sequins and bits of mirrored glass sewn in. The paper is rough, thick, and colored with in the color of butter. It's not lined, which I like. I've never had a diary before. When Kazi gave it to me, he said it was time to start writing things down, and that I was the one to do it. He said someone needs to make a record of the things that will happen because the grown-ups will be too busy. I'm not sure what he thinks is going to happen, but I've decided I'm going to write in it every day if I can. I want to explain things to you as if I'm writing in a storybook, like the Jungle Book, except without the animals. I want to make it real so you can imagine. I want to remember what everyone says and does, and I won't know the ending until I get there. Kazi also gave Emil 5 charcoal drawing pencils. 5. He also made us write rice kheer with our porrees. I'm not sure there's anything better tasting in the world. Emil, who normally eats too fast, makes his pudding last extra long, eating the smallest bites he can. I think he just does it so that I have to watch him so long after I've finished. Every so often he'll look up and smile. I pretend I don't care. Sometimes he saves the sweets for me, but not rice kheer. Today we were running late, though, and Emil couldn't spend forever eating his kheer because Daddy took our plates away and told us to get ready. Emil started grumbling about school and how he wished he was grown up so he could work at the hospital like Papa instead. The drums sound better at a distance, Daddy always says like he does, and rushed us out the door. Here's another secret, and don't be mad. Emil and I didn't go to school. We headed all the way out of the town to the sugarcane field and tried to walk through it like a maze. We broke off pieces to chew. Later, we stopped under a shady tree. Emil found bugs to draw, and I read. After we bought potato pakoras at the roadside cart in town, hoping no one would ask why we weren't in school. The pakoras tasted crisp and extra salty. Emil thinks they're too salty, but I like the sting on my tongue that stays long after I've finished eating. Emil would rather draw and play all day instead of going to school. He would rather do anything besides school. He draws very well. Did you know that? I don't hate school, but I don't want Emil to be alone on our birthday. When Papa finds out we didn't go to school, he'll be much angrier at Emil than he will be at me. That's how it always is with Papa and Emil. It hasn't always been like that. Emil used to be Papa's favorite. I think because Emil's always louder, happier, and funnier than I am. But now, because Emil isn't small and cute, Papa is different. When we were about 7 or 8, Emil ran away. That's when it started. Papa came home from a long day at the hospital, and during dinner he told Emil to stop smiling so much that it made him look ridiculous. That only made Emil smile more. Then Papa said, "Emil, you can't read. You can't play around too much and draw little pictures. You must be more serious or you'll become nothing." "Maybe I should leave. Then you'll be happier," Emil said. He waited for Papa to say something, but Papa didn't. He just turned back to his food. Emil got up and walked straight out of the house. An hour went by and he didn't come back. So I went out to look for him. I looked everywhere around the garden. The shed, Kazi and Mati's cottages, all the places he might go. I even looked in the pantry and in Papa's closet. Papa acted like nothing was happening. But I told Kazi that I couldn't find Emil anywhere, and he told Daddy, and Daddy told Papa. So Papa went out with a lantern. I stayed awake in my bed, wondering what we would do if Emil never came back. I couldn't imagine being in the house in this life without him. I heard Papa return and waited to hear Emil's voice or his footsteps, but I didn't hear anything and began to cry, holding my doll Dee tight. At some point, I fell asleep. When I woke at first light, Emil slept soundly in the bed next to mine. I wasn't sure if I had dreamed the whole thing. "Emil," I said, poking him awake, standing over him. "Where did you go? Does Papa know you're back?" "Papa knows I'm back," Emil said in a dull voice. "I walked into town, but then I kept going, and I didn't want to stop, but Papa found me." "Is Papa mad?" I asked. "Papa will always be mad at me. It doesn't matter if I smile or don't smile. I'm just not what he wanted." "It's not true," I said, and put my hands on his shoulder. He turned away. He might have been right about Papa, though. Since that night he ran away, Papa always seems angry at Emil for being Emil. Papa left a book on Emil's bed this morning. Normally on our birthday, he only gives me the jewelry, and we do puja on our temple and offer God's handfuls of leaves and sweets for a prosperous year. But Papa did not talk about it this morning. Maybe we will go tomorrow. Papa doesn't like to go to temple. We only go on our birthdays and Dwindly because Diddy begs us to go. Sometimes Papa walks her there and waits for her. I always look forward to going. I drink in the smoky smell of the lamps burning. I even like the metal taste of the holy water on my tongue. The soft sounds of the prayers being chanted and sung make me feel lovely, like you're there, watching, but maybe Hindu temples is the last place you'd be. Emil's book is beautiful. It's a thick collection of tales from the Maharabi, with gold lettering on the cover and bright colorful pictures inside. Emil will love the drawings, but he won't read it. Emil says he can't read. Right, because the words jump around on a page and change on him. Papa thinks he's lying so he doesn't have to do his schoolwork, but I know he's not. I see the way he studies the writing. His eyes squinted, his face pinched, and I know how hard he tries. He even turns the book upside down sometimes, but he says nothing helps. I think it's because Emil is a little bit magical. His eyes turn everything into art. Maybe Papa thought if he bought him a really good book, Emil would read it. Papa didn't say anything about skipping school today. I hope our headmaster doesn't send a messenger with a note. Now I'm tired, and I must drink my warm milk and go to bed. Emil is already sound asleep, making little whistling noises through his nose. I've decided that night is the best time to write you. That way, no one will ask me any questions. Love, Nisha.